Hi everyone, welcome to Fabular Futures at Triveni Kala Sangam, Shridharani Gallery. So Fabular Futures is presented by Latitude 28. Welcome to the painterly world of Anupama Alias and Sanket Viramgami. Let's start with what Bhavna Kakar has to say about the show. Hi Bhavna.
Hi everyone. Thank you for joining us, and thank you Mash and Saloni for having this walkthrough for the exhibition. I'm very happy that we're able to do it, especially in this very busy holiday festive time. And hi to Anupama and Sanket. They were here for the opening for the exhibition, which was very well attended, and now they are back to Kochi and Baroda. So we've been working together for I think almost 4 or 5 years now. Yeah. And this is the first time that we have, kind of shown a major body of work, galleries, to kind of see the journey of how the artist has evolved over some times. In Anupama's case, it's her inner journey. In Sanket's case, it's more the formal aspects of his work has also changed, as well as externally what things inspire him and what he sees around the outer world. So the inner and the outer in their works have come in beautifully together in this show. So I'm really happy to be presenting it. So I won't take much time now. So over to you, Saloni, and the artist who'd like to maybe take the viewers through some of the works. Yeah?
Yeah. So we'll start with Sanket Viramgami's work. Sanket works with acrylic on canvas, and he also works with watercolors as well, as you can see on the adjacent wall. And one thing which is very striking in his canvases is this use of detailed patterns, and within the patterns you can find figures from different time periods, different backgrounds, coming together, doing different kinds of activities. Sanket, can you elaborate on this idea of using very detailed background and using figures which are coming from different time periods?
जो बैकग्राउंड और फिगर्स है जो मेरे ही गुजराती राइटर है झवेरचंद मेघानी, उनके कुछ पोएट्स है, उनमें से मैंने लिए गए हैं. और जो फिगर्स है वो उनका पोएट से, मतलब उनका पोएट को मैंने एक आई व्यू बना के अपना अभी जो कंटेम्पररी व्यू है, कंटेम्पररी स्टाइल में उनको दिखाने का कोशिश किया हुआ है. और जो बैकग्राउंड है उसमें मैंने जो ड्राइंग और पेंटिंग दोनों को मर्ज करके क्रिएट किया है.
So Sanket, generally you work on canvases, you work on watercolors as well, but these new works which are watercolors, they are very different from what you are doing on canvases. So what do you think is the difference that you have seen in these works?
डिफरेंस नहीं हो सकता. जैसे जर्नी है हमारा, जस्ट कॉलेज लाइफ से शुरू करके अभी तक में डिफरेंट मटेरियल से काम किया हुआ है. वाटर कलर, मिनिएचर, पेंट, एक्रिलिक ऑन कैनवास, ऑयल ऑन कैनवास. और यहाँ पे मैंने सिर्फ 2 मीडियम को ही दिखाने का ट्राई किया है. खड़िया ऑन वाटर कलर एंड एक्रिलिक ऑन कैनवास.
Your works have always been inspired by miniatures also, right? ये जो डिटेलिंग देखते हैं, ये कहाँ से है? काथा से है, चंबा रुमाल, कच्छ की एम्ब्रॉयडरी, मतलब where does it come from?
ये मैंने जो काथा जो है, मैंने इंडियन जो ट्रेडिशन है, जैसे कच्छ का एम्ब्रॉयडरी, भावनगर एम्ब्रॉयडरी, कांथा एम्ब्रॉयडरी और में जो फिगर्स के ऊपर लाइंस करते हैं, वो सब को एक कंबाइन करके अपना खुद का एक क्रिएशन करने का ट्राई किया है यहाँ पे। जैसे कि हम कांधा में स्टिच करते हैं, तो स्टिच मतलब एक धागा से एक लाइन बनाते हैं, जो यहाँ पे मैंने डॉट डॉट करके एक पूरा उसको लाइन बनाने का कोशिश किया है। जैसे दो फिगर को जो लाइन से ज्वाइन करके एक नया रिदम देने का कोशिश किया हुआ है।
Yeah, so as you can see, little details in the canvas, and then you can see figures which are colored. Some of are not. Some of them are not colored, and they are coming from different traditions as well. Like you said, Goan tradition and miniaturist traditions, and you're amalgamating all of them together to take a contemporary take on the traditional schools of painting. And they also have this tapestry kind of look to them. If you see closely, they seem contemporary tapestries of different kinds of schools. Sanket, hello, Sanket, can you elaborate on any kind of tradition which you are taking from, any story which is very important in any of these works?
मेरा पेंटिंग में डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ स्टोरीज है, जो इनसाइड और आउटसाइड स्टोरी है। जैसे विलेज टेल्स है, झवेरचंद मेघानी ने जो किए थे, और झवेरचंद मेघानी इन्फ्लुएंस थे रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर से। वो जब कोलकाता में थे, 3 साल तक रुके थे, तो उन्होंने वहीं से टेल्स, उनका जो पोएम थे उनको रीड किया, और उन्होंने देखा कि यही सेम चीज अगर हम अपना जगह का भी अगर दिखाएंगे और उसी टेल्स को हम आगे बढ़ाएंगे तो कैसे एलिब्रेट कर सकते हैं। और जैसे पेंटिंग में मैंने मिनिएचर और वाटर कलर से भी वर्क किया हुआ है। तो मिनिएचर जो स्मॉल फॉर्मेट वर्क है, उसको मैंने यहाँ पे मिनिएचर स्मॉल स्केल फॉर्मेट में एक बुक की तरह बनाया जा रहा है, और यहाँ पे मैंने उसी चीज को एक बड़े कैनवास पे क्रिएट किया है, और उसमें मैंने 3 डायमेंशन पर्पस से दिखाया सारा चीज।
Do you we see on your paintings that you आपने उनके काम देखा था, you were inspired by it और गुलाम शेख, या आप सिर्फ मिनिएचर ट्रेडिशन से ही?
और नीलिमा से, गुलाम शेख के वर्क्स भी बहुत सारे देखे, और उन्होंने उनमें जो स्टोरी दिखाया, नैरेटिव स्टोरीज है, उनको भी देखा और उनसे इंस्पायर हुए।
So now we also have Anupama here with us to tell us about the animal imageries and the interrelatedness of species which comes in her work. Hi Anupama. Hi. Can you take us through why do you use animal imagery, especially in your work?
Like I used to be inspired from my neighborhood and the lives around me, and where my mother, my neighborhood aunties all together worked for me. Like I taught them my technique of cotton and rice paper, and they worked for me, the letters, and they wrote what they used to hear from the neighborhood, this particular work. Like all of them in Malayalam, and Entanu Pani, like what's your job? So in all these things I go to know that most of them have a nature of talking to themselves, sometimes to their pet. Like my mother has a nature of doing it, or she used to share her sorrows, or maybe her future plans, her dilemmas to her chickens and hens, and it's a kind of soothe her mind. And many of these participants has that kind of a nature. So that's how my mother's third daughter came out. And I used to influence many lives around me, my home, my parents' home, where I can see most of the women lives are associated with these animals, and they are making lives from them and all. And sometimes my imaginary thing, like the deer is so, and it's like a trans process for me sometimes, like in physical and in the inner self, it can be placed.
Yeah. So you have titled some of your works, the newer girls, as My Mother's Third Daughter at the Window, for example. What is the significance of that third daughter in that title?
Actually, I have a sibling, younger one, and she used to take care of and sharing her things with chickens as her own offspring sometimes. So, in some point, they are so intimate, and it's not only her case, many other women's case.
Yeah.
So, they sometimes have someone to share their things. So, they are making sometimes they as their own, sometimes to pet. So, that's how it came out.
Also you see when you look at some of the works which are looking like pelvis or other kinds of bodily organs, so you're playing with anatomy of a woman's body especially, and you're titling them, for example the pelvis here, titling them as the crown. So what are you trying to convey by using the word crown with the pelvis?
Yeah, in some point, my works are a kind of journey to find my inner self, my interiority, and my existence. And some point, I used to work with my this body and its layers, maybe the blood, its bone and anatomy and all. And the clown is like a kind of celebration sometimes, as well as a kind of what you can say, a burden. And the next level with saxophone and all is kind of an announcement of female self or femininity, and it's all connected with my female self and femininity and all.
Yeah, and one thing which is very striking to your work are the masks, and whenever someone sees your work for the first time, they are kind of intrigued by why are you using masks on your protagonists, which are also kind of reflecting you, because they are self-portraiture also. So can you like talk about why are you using masks, or what are the traditions, the performance traditions which are coming into your work?
Yeah, actually, when I perform with mask or putting mask on my face, it's like a trance process, and I'm becoming some other, and something I can never achieve in my physique. It makes me more stronger, and it gave me wings to fly beyond. It's like a process, very intimate process, and I have been influenced different ritualistic performances of Kerala, like Teyyam. And in that performance, the performer become a god or the particular character just for a moment, for some series of a moment. And most of the time, this performer comes from a lower background, what people say. Now we are demolishing all these caste and social structures, and the people from upper caste started to wait for his blessings and cows in front of him, waiting for to fulfill his all orders, and it's kind of a social irony, I feel, and that's what I feel most fascinated about that transformation. And in some cultures, like South African culture, this eagle mask shows the most powerful being, and when I mentioned, it made me more strong, and it's something never I could achieve. In some series, I named it as Kavita, the something I imagined or becoming some I wanted to become, and it's like a total transformation and trans process. And in some other cultures, like Latin American culture, the performer. When the performer performs, the women are allowed to see the performance, but they don't have to have the right to know why they are performing. So now I'm performing, my women are performing, so I'm marking that social changes, what women are achieving, and the women's survival and all. So that's all about my mask and transform things.
Anupama, can you elaborate on your use of watercolor? And is there a link to what you're trying to convey through that?
We had a heavy head flow, water flow in 2018. So those things affected me. Like we used to check the water levels all the time, so we can move to the upper area. So that's how I inspired the first thing, and I can relate these water things to all my life situations, the dilemmas, the confusions, and the hope and everything. And the series I named as Island of Hope, and it's a hope. Not only mine as a women community and a women group for a better tomorrow and a better life being. And the watercolors, sometimes I work like layers. I work with cotton also. Have been very curious about that process, layering process. So cotton and rice paper are the layers we can hear. And the dress made with rice paper, I painted and pasted on the body.
Yeah, so you have protagonists submerged in water, half submerged. Sometimes they are 3/4 submerged. Sometimes they are looking into water, and sometimes they are looking at the reflection. And you have other mythological characters also coming in the painting, as you can see here.
Yeah. Sometimes it's all imaginary things. Maybe my future being something from the future, might be from the past. And I also very influenced by the literary works of Kerala, and how the characters are forming, how they are finding their soul, their identity and all. So somehow I connected with the literary works I have been reading since my childhood, some translation works and everything. And maybe it's a kind of a conversation to my future self, maybe some track from the past, like that.
Thank you, Anupama. Lastly, I want to ask you why self-portraiture?
Actually, I come from applied art background. I did my bachelor's in applied art. So at some point, I was very confused, and I was in a certain state, like what to do. Then I decided to start with myself. So the process was very intimate and really refreshing. It was like making a poem or a diary. So that's how my first inspiration of self comes, gradually developed. And sometimes not only myself, whenever I meet of a female body, I used to place myself, and I have been concerned about the states of women, issue regarding the states of women, and I want.
So as you can see, Anupama is working through the inner worlds of herself, and she's trying to portray. She's trying to portray the sensitivities of a woman, and through their development years, what do they go through? Through the use of layers of watercolors and women submerged in water. And at the same time, you can see Sanket's work looking at worldly concerns and also globalization, because a lot of contemporary as well as historical narrative comes together in these large canvases. Minute details work together to create contemporary tapestries. And then you can see how Sanket is using vibrant colors on his canvases especially. Anupama also works with sculpture, and that also is looking towards the theme of bodily anatomy, the use of bodily anatomy to question the gendering of the child at birth, and then how they are developed through adolescence as well as into adulthood, and how those notions of gendering become anxieties. She's trying to bring in those motives through mythological narratives. For example, you can see like a starfish or a crown of thorns on the head of a woman. And she's also using imagery which is coming from Hebrew and Christian mythology. She's using this idea of Adam's rib, how Eve came from Adam's rib, which is the notion. And she's trying to question that kind of gendering which is embedded into traditions and which are told to children from childhood. That's how she's trying to question those stereotypes and coming onto terms with her own self also. Thank you for joining us live for Fabular Futures at Triveni Kala Sangam. The show will go on till 30th December. Please do come and visit. Thank you.